What's going on? New 23 YZ450, still brand new, have not ridden it yet. So today is our first day on the bike. We drove down to Mesquite from Payson, Utah. It's about a 4-hour drive. We're doing a day trip so I can get some time on this thing. So I'm gonna come back to you guys in a little bit, give you a little first impressions of the new YZ450. Now I've been on the Honda for the last little bit, so it's really the only bike that I have to compare it to. So I'll do a little comparison there, but yeah, stay tuned. We're gonna go have some fun in Mesquite today, ride some laps, give you first impressions, but also we want to show you what parts already swapped from the 22 YZ450 to the new 23 model. So I've got the fast flex bars on here, which I had on my Honda. I love these. These are the low bend. The levers swap over, so the brake and the clutch lever. We've just got some hard anodized parts on here. Wheel set, Tuss impact wheels, that all swapped over, plus some other little goodies on here like the shift lever. So yeah, we're gonna go burn some laps, have a good time, and I'll report back here shortly.
Oh, Larry laid it down. How was it?
Well, the main track is super baked, super ready. So I'm over here on the vet track, which I've actually kind of prepped. So I'm breaking this one in, but first impressions. As far as the power goes, so I'm on the smooth linear map right now that they give you in the app. It definitely doesn't have the hit off the bottom like the Honda does. So I totally get what those guys talked about in the review. But it's a super smooth power. Like, I like it. It feels like it's going to be more rideable than my Honda was. But yeah, it's soft and deep below me right now, so I need to break it in. But overall, like, it leans over really easy. Like Tomac said when I talked to him, that was going to be the thing I like the most about the bike. And yeah, it leans over really good. So I'm going to get some few more laps and talk a little bit more.
Already tipped it over, got the new bike scratches out of the way. But okay, so like I was saying, feels super light, like it falls over really easy. Something I've noticed is the rear brake is really touchy. And what I've actually learned is that I'm pretty sure Yamaha and Cowie use the same, I think same caliper and brake pads. And so it's really grabbing. So something I noticed, just might have to tweak with that a little bit, but I like the cable clutch. It's super smooth. And the clutch pull is actually easier than I thought it was going to be. So I was kind of a little worried it was going to have a harder clutch pull because of the cable, but that is not the case. It's smooth, it's linear. So actually, honestly, cable and hydraulic, I could go either one, but I don't mind the cable clutch at all. And yeah, so far so good. So the vet track now has a lot of ruts, and they're very long, deep ruts because there's a lot of big bikes out there now. But so yeah, the bike leans over really good. I don't know if it leans over any better than Honda or the other bikes, but it leans over just as good as all the other great cornering bikes now. And one thing that initially when I first got this bike, you know, the older Yamaha, everyone said, oh, they're too wide, they're big, they're heavy. I was kind of in that boat, but with this one, it definitely feels a lot narrower between my legs. Looking at the front shrouds, it doesn't look wide to me. It just feels like a nimble motorcycle, which I'm actually really liking. But with those longer ruts, I was in the hard-hitting map just now. I'm going to try smooth and linear. So, yeah, when the track was soft to low this morning, I was like, oh, I need more bottom end. But now I'm just like, no, let's get this thing smoothed out a little bit. So I'm going to ride it next in the smooth linear map with these longer ruts and see how that feels. All right, just wrapped up a fun day out here at Mesquite MX, and I do want to give a big thank you to the Bruffs for letting us come out today and ride. So first impressions, YZ450, all new for 23. It's a really good motorcycle, and to be honest with you guys, all the bikes nowadays are great motorcycles. I don't think there's a bad bike that you can go and buy, but obviously there's a lot of people that are looking at this bike wondering, do they want to go grab one? And if you're thinking about it, you have nothing to lose. Really, the biggest takeaway for me with this bike is the engine isn't as aggressive down low as it was on my Honda, which I am totally okay with. Look, I'm 38 years old, vet rider. I don't need all the hit that a 450 can give. I know some of the first impressions I've seen, they've talked about how they wish it had a little bit more bottom, but I am perfectly okay. I tried the different maps today. I tried the keeper map, the free revving. I actually did like that one because it takes away a lot of the engine brake feel. I like a free feeling bike that doesn't have a lot of engine brake to carry a little bit more momentum through the corners. And really, the biggest takeaway that I think from this bike is that, you know, Yamaha for a lot of years has had the stigma, and I agreed with it, that the bike just, it looked wide, it felt a little bit heavier. It just didn't feel as light, as nimble as, you know, the other brands. But they have corrected that now with the 23 model. That's really the biggest thing I noticed, is this bike feels every bit as light and as nimble and easy to lay over and corner as the 21 Honda that I've been on for the last little while, my 19 KX450. I've ridden the new KTMs, and this bike to me handles every bit as good as those. Now the track today, it got long ruts, and what I noticed too is that this bike does, like when you want to lay the bike over in a corner, it just kind of lays over for you. And you know, if you're on this bike, what I like too is that if you come into a corner and you feel like maybe you're coming a little bit hot, you just got to trust the bike that it's going to stay leaned over and not stand you up in the corner, and it'll do that for you. So it's a good handling motorcycle. Now, the track today didn't get super rough as far as brake bumps go and real bad acceleration chomps. Like, didn't get a really good feel for the suspension and the chassis. Honestly, I didn't even touch a clicker. I put everything to how the manual tells you to set it. I didn't touch anything. I put my sag at about 102, 103, but it corners great. The only thing about this bike that I noticed that I wasn't the biggest fan of is the rider triangle I really like. But right here on this right side, it flares out a little bit wider than it does on the left side because of the exhaust. So when you get your legs a little bit farther back and you're kind of squeezing, you just kind of feel like your right leg bows out a little bit more. But once I was riding more, I honestly kind of forgot about it. It wasn't a big deal after that. But I like the cable clutch. I was afraid the clutch pull was going to be pretty stiff. It's not. It's actually a nice smooth clutch pull, and it gives you a nice smooth engagement all the way through. So I think a lot of riders, you know, even if you've gone from a hydraulic clutch. So Gavin Bruff, local pro that rides here, he hopped on this for a few laps, and he's on the 23 Honda 450, and he actually said that he liked the cable clutch feel more than he does the hydraulic clutch on his Honda. So it's definitely not a negative that they still have the cable clutch on this bike. I think a lot of people are going to be totally happy with that. But biggest takeaway, like I said, is light and nimble feeling. I like that the gas cap is up here in the front, honestly, because you don't have to ever have to worry about dirt getting underneath here when you want to take your cap off, something I kind of noticed. But other than that, yeah, it's a good motorcycle. If you're thinking about getting one of these, you're going to be stoked on it. If you want to read about all the changes that they've done, I'm not going to bore you with that. You can read. There's a lot of articles out there. But aside from that, phenomenal motorcycle. You can see, like I mentioned, we've already got a lot of parts that cross over from the 22 to the 23. We've got the impact wheels on here from Tusk, attack graphics kit. We got the shift lever. I got my fast flex bars on here and some other goodies. So yeah, levers, all that stuff we have. So the easiest way to see everything that you have or that we carry for your motorcycle, whether it's this bike or another one, is on our homepage, enter the year, make, and model, and that will show everything that will fit your motorcycle or your ATV or your UTV. So be sure to take advantage of that. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and get subscribed to the Rocky Mountain YouTube channel if you want to see more content like this, all the product spotlights, all the cool videos that we're constantly doing. So get subscribed to stay up to date on those. I am Chase, and we'll see you on the trails.